These messages felt like sharp knives, stabbing me right in the heart. I had long suspected the truth, known there was something improper between them, but seeing the evidence laid out so plainly still filled me with heartache and anger. The feeling of betrayal, deceit, and mockery washed over me, leaving me breathless. The courtroom fell silent again. Everyone was stunned by the chat records. No one spoke, save for Winter's stifled sobs, and the heavy breathing of Peach and Danny. The spectators' looks of shock turned to utter contempt, and disgust as they stared at the three of them, some even muttering curses under their breath. Disgusting, totally morally bankrupt. The three of them colluded to lie to everyone. It's ridiculous. People like this deserve to be punished. As Winter stared at the chat records on the screen, her sobs grew softer until they stopped entirely. She slumped there, her eyes empty, her face ashen, all traces of her earlier confidence and innocence gone. She had no strength left to defend herself. She knew the evidence was overwhelming. She couldn't deny it. Her reputation, her marriage, everything she had, was all gone. Peach was equally distraught. Her legs gave way, and she nearly collapsed, but someone nearby caught her. She stared at the chat records, then at Danny, whose face was still ashen, her eyes filled with anger and despair. Danny, you liar, she screamed. How dare you say those things to her? You promised me it was just a fling. You betrayed me. Danny whipped around, glaring at her fiercely. Shut up, he snapped. Now's not the time for this nonsense. If you hadn't agreed in the first place, we wouldn't be here. Do you think I want to be with someone like you? If it weren't for Winter, I would have divorced you ages ago. You're lying, Peach shouted, lunging at him. You seduced me. You said you loved me, that you'd never betray me. And Winter, she's my best friend. I trusted her with my life, handed my child over to her, even helped her cover up her secret. But she betrayed me too, slept with my husband. You two bastards. I'll never forgive you. The two began fighting, tearing at each other's hair and clothes, shouting curses, and the courtroom descended into chaos. The spectators pulled back, some pulling out their phones to take photos and videos, while the live stream comments exploded again. Everyone watched the farce unfold, condemning the three of them. The judge banged his gavel again, shouting, "Stop, all of you, stop. How dare you act so recklessly in my courtroom? It's outright contempt of court." Bailiffs rushed forward, pulling Peach and Danny apart, holding them down until they calmed, but they continued struggling, still hurling curses at each other, their eyes filled with hatred. Once the courtroom was quiet again, the judge turned to Violet. "Lawyer, do you have any additional evidence?" he asked, his tone serious. Violet nodded. "Your Honor, we have one final piece of evidence, hotel check-in records and surveillance footage. These are the check-in records for Ms. Winter and Mr. Danny at multiple hotels over the past 6 months, sometimes checking in together, sometimes one arriving after the other. We also have footage from hotel corridors, an elevator showing them entering and leaving rooms together, which corroborates the check-in records and further proves their improper relationship." Violet operated the equipment again, playing several clips of hotel surveillance, and displaying screenshots of the check-in records. The footage showed Winter and Danny walking into hotels together, acting intimately, entering elevators side by side, heading to rooms together, staying for hours before leaving, always careful to avoid being seen. The check-in records clearly listed their arrival and departure times, room numbers, forming a complete, irrefutable chain of evidence alongside the chat records, and the earlier hotel room video. By now, the truth was undeniable. Winter had cheated on me with Danny. Peach had known all along, even helped cover it up. The three of them had colluded to deceive everyone, putting on a ridiculous charade, and I, the betrayed husband, had been kept in the dark, enduring Everion's misunderstanding and criticism, even being harassed online, my company on the brink of collapse, my parents hounded by strangers. I had suffered more than anyone knew. My father walked over to me, slowly, his face etched with guilt and sympathy. He reached out, as if to pat my shoulder, but hesitated, pulling his hand back. His lips trembled as he choked out, "Taylor, I'm so sorry, it's my fault. I accused you without knowing the truth, even hit you. Can you forgive me?" Looking at my father's aged, guilt-ridden face, the anger and hurt in my heart faded. He was my father. He had been fooled by appearances, too trusting of Winter. He hadn't meant to hurt me. I took a deep breath and nodded, my voice hoarse. "Dad, I don't blame you. I know you were trying to help. I just wish we hadn't all been deceived." When my father heard that, he couldn't hold back his tears. He pulled me into a tight hug, sobbing, "My boy, I wronged you, truly wronged you." My mother joined us, hugging both of us, and the three of us cried silently in the courtroom. All the pain, guilt, and heartache poured out in tears. Winter watched our family, her eyes filled with jealousy and regret. She slumped there, muttering to herself, "I'm sorry, Taylor, I'm so sorry. I was wrong, really wrong. Can you give me another chance? I'll never betray you again. I'll take good care of you and our daughter. Can we start over?" I gently pulled away from my father, turned to face Winter, my eyes cold and empty. "A chance," I sneered. "When you betrayed me, when you were with Danny, when you laughed at how stupid I was, did you think about giving me a chance? When you hurt me, when you lied to everyone, did you ever consider how this would end? I know I was wrong. I really do." Winter cried, kowtowing repeatedly. "Taylor, please, for our daughter's sake, for the sake of our marriage, give me another chance. I'll be a better person. I'll never make this mistake again. I'll devote myself to you, and our daughter, I promise." I looked at the baby in her arms. Our daughter had woken up, staring at me, with innocent, wide eyes, giggling. Her smile was just like Winter's, pure, sweet. My heart softened for a moment. She was my daughter, innocent. She didn't deserve to suffer for her mother's mistakes. But then I remembered everything I'd endured over the past 6 months. The look on Winter's face after feeding the child, flushed and distant, the way everyone had judged me when I asked for a divorce, the pain of being cyber-buoyed, my personal information leaked, the stress of watching my company crumble, my parents terrified. Those memories were like scars, etched into my heart, never to fade. I took a deep breath, pushing aside my ness, my eyes hardening again. "Winter, it's too late. I can forgive you for your mistakes, but I can't forgive the betrayal, the pain you caused me, my family, our marriage. There's no going back. Divorce is the only way." I turned to the judge, my voice firm. "Your Honor, I request that the court grant a divorce between Ms. Winter and myself. Order Ms. Winter to leave the marriage with no marital assets, and award me full custody of our daughter. Ms. Winter may have visitation rights, but she is not permitted to leave our daughter, in the care of Mr. Peach or Mr. Danny, and must not harm our daughter's physical or mental health. Additionally, I reserve the right to pursue legal action against Ms. Winter, Mr. Peach, and Mr. Danny for defamation, emotional distress, and compensation for the damages caused to my company." Winter's face went completely blank. When she heard that, she stopped struggling, holding our daughter tightly, sitting there silently crying. her eyes empty, her face ashen. Peach and Danny hung their heads, their faces filled with remorse and despair. They knew what awaited them, ruin, perhaps even legal punishment. The judge surveyed the courtroom, then looked at the evidence again. After a thorough investigation, he said, his tone serious, the evidence submitted by plaintiff Mr. Taylor is true, legal, and valid, clearly proving that defendant Ms. Winter had an improper romantic relationship with third-party Mr. Danny. Ms. Winter's infidelity has seriously violated her marital obligations, severely damaged the marital relationship, and led to its complete breakdown with no possibility of reconciliation. The plaintiff's request for divorce is granted in accordance with the law. Regarding the division of marital assets, defendant Ms. Winter's infidelity constitutes fault. Pursuant to relevant provisions of federal law, the at-fault party is entitled to a smaller share, or no share of marital assets. Given the severity of Ms. Winter's actions and the significant emotional and financial harm caused to Mr. Taylor, this court orders that Ms. Winter leave the marriage with no marital assets, and all community property shall belong to plaintiff Mr. Taylor. Regarding child custody, the minor daughter of the plaintiff and defendant is only a few months old, still in infancy. However, Ms. Winter's infidelity is not in the best interests of the child's physical or mental health. Plaintiff Mr. Taylor has a stable income, the ability to care for the child, and is willing to do so. This court awards full custody of the child to plaintiff Mr. Taylor. Defendant Ms. Winter is granted visitation rights, to be arranged by mutual agreement of both parties. If no agreement can be reached, either party may file a separate motion with this court. During visitation, Ms. Winter is prohibited from leaving the child in the care of third parties Mr. Peach or Mr. Danny, and must not endanger the child's well-being.